Good evening, everybody. Another edition of On the Road Again with Shaggy. No video this time. Trying something different, going with just audio to see how things work out. Just got done with a client and headed home for the night. But I thought I had such an amazing weekend that I couldn't help but talk to you guys about it. So it's another example of how the life of a DJ is not nearly as glamorous or glitzy or mesmerizing as some people make it out to be. So in this particular instance, I was DJing that SIU residence dinner that I had talked about previously. Well, maybe I talked about previously. It depends on if I actually published that episode or not. But anyway, so So I got there, got set up, everything's fine. They do a lot of videos and stuff during this event, so it was less DJ and more multimedia presenter type thing. So here's the story, all right? So there are 2 residents that are graduating this year. So the residency program is 5 years long. They come in and they basically progress through surgical residency program, doing all kinds of things. And then once they graduate, boom, you're a doctor, you're a surgeon now. And then you move on and you move out and you do other things. So what was great about this one was there were 2 guys, and one was from California and one was from Florida. And they actually looked backwards at what they should have been. The guy from California looked like he should have been from Florida, and the guy from Florida looked like he should have been from California. So that wasn't anything exciting. Now, the guy from Florida, as it turns out, he was gay. I'm only saying that because it proves again that you can't judge a book by its cover, because until he actually got up and started walking around, you couldn't tell it, all right? I honestly did not know it. I thought that the girl sitting a couple seats away from him was his girlfriend. Not true. The guy sitting a couple seats away from him was his boyfriend. So, that's not the fun part of the story. All right, the fun part of the story was the person sitting 2 seats away from him, which was his mother. Because this man came from a typical family, so mom, dad, and then 3 brothers and a sister. Okay, now I can tell you right now, right, the not as funny part of the story is that of the 4 children, of the total of 4 children there, 3 of them were planned. One, and this is the mother's words, "You were an accident." Loudly, too. The mother of this man, who was being celebrated this night, was highly intoxicated. All right? Highly intoxicated. And so that was the last part of what she said before people started feeding her just water. Somebody doesn't know what lane they should be in. So the funny part that led up to all this was the mother announcing in a very loud voice. Very, very, very loud. Like, I'm sitting in front of them because they're like one of the front tables, but I'm sure people in the back of this place could hear her. She was yelling. That's how loud she was. That the method by which he was conceived, all right, I happen to know that this woman, in, again, her own words, she was a horrible army wife because she got hit on by every man on the base, and she finally got tired of it, so she told her husband to take her out into the Alaskan wilderness and knock her up so that they would stop. And so that's where he was conceived, was in the middle of the woods. And again, she's yelling this to the entire bar. Or to the entire restaurant area that they're at. I would have been mortified. All right. I don't know anybody that wouldn't have been mortified, but it appeared as if this wasn't the first time that this particular story had been told, which makes it all the better. All right. Because everyone else at the table, except for the boyfriend and his parents, were like, "Oh yeah, mom tells this story every time." She has to be an alcoholic. Has to be. Because then I'm not sure what precipitated it, but the words "grab my tits" came out of her mouth, again, very loudly. I don't think she's in the running for Mother of the Year. I don't know. I just, and then I think somebody talked to her about lowering her volume. And she acted like she had been slapped in the face. I actually heard her say, well, that really hurts me. My feelings are hurt. I'm like, what about the boy? What about the guy here who's graduating from facial and skull reconstructive surgery, who just had everybody learn that he was conceived in the woods while you were bent over a log? His feelings can't be hurt? Oh, but you being told to shush, that's too much. So I don't know. I don't know what is wrong with this woman. All right. But obviously, she has had a hard life. And I feel sorry for that family. I really, really do. Because I don't know what's in store for them. I know what was in store for her the next morning. Either more booze or a headache that's horrendous. Because I know she had to have hit the cocktail hour really hard to be bombed that badly, that early. Because this is only like an hour and a half into the presentation. So, that was my adventure DJing. So for everybody that thinks it's just wiki and, brides and grooms being lifted up in chairs and celebrated, no, it's not. You get stories like this of drunken mothers and sexual exploits put on display for everybody. It was just bad, and I do feel bad for the partner and his parents, because I don't know that the father there was really ecstatic about his son being gay in the first place, and then to deal with that type of in-law in a situation he didn't seem overly comfortable with made it all the worse. So, I hope those guys have a good one. I don't see the now surgeon visiting home very soon. But I could be wrong. Like I said, I could be wrong. Maybe they have a great relationship and I just don't know it. But boy, I'm glad when my mom gets drunk, she just gets tired and falls asleep. So I'm curious to what your thoughts are. When has your mother embarrassed you, or have you had a drunk relative that just whisper yelled something routine, obscenely embarrassing? Remember, on the road again at PTR Radio. Check out the PTR Radio homepage, ptrradio.com. Check us out on social media. All the stuff. You can find us at PTR Radio. I will see you the next time I'm on the road.